Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of AnglersChannel.com video. It's 2015, and we're with Anglers Channel Pro Staffer Robbie Digh. Robbie, there have been some tournaments that have already kicked off. You've been a part of a few of them, the Rayovac down in Florida, and some BFLs here and there. But this is the first big weekend team trail-wise, and specifically the Carolinas Bass Challenge, which kicks off Saturday at Lake Murray. Weights down there have been very, very strong the past few weekends, 25-plus pounds. And you just fished a tournament on Norman, fish off that, normally wouldn't generate a lot of intrigue, but the weights were so phenomenal that it's generated a lot of intrigue, so we're going to talk about that. And then we've also got the Rattle Trap Open down on Lake Guntersville this weekend, and that's kind of like a lot of these other opens. You got to fish with a rattle trap lure, but Guntersville is Guntersville, and this time of year with all the grass they got down there, it should be wide open. So why don't we start with Lake Norman this past Saturday? You were just there at this fish off, and the weight, it took 21 pounds to win.
Yeah, the fish are biting really good, John. Catching a lot of fish on the Alabama rig. I think all these lakes, that's going to be the key to success. We had a little bit of wind. We've had some rain. The water's colored maybe just a little bit. It's got a little tint in it. And these fish cannot stand that Alabama rig this time of year. All the bait's schooled up real tight, and it's unbelievable what kind of fish that thing will catch. I mean, 21.5 pounds for Lake Norman, that's unheard of.
How about third place at 19 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, the weights were just stacked all the way up and down, and Norman is one of the best lakes you can fish in North Carolina, I think. It's just getting better and better. It's unbelievable how this lake has turned around.
Well, when it takes 16 pounds to cut a check at Norman, things have changed. 5 years ago, 16 pounds guaranteed you a win. So that's a big, big deal. And you came in third out there, I believe, at the fish off, so with 19. So, hey, you got to feel good. What's fun about that is you catch 19, you have fun, and everybody else is catching a lot of fish, and that makes the tournament a lot more exciting.
Yes, it does. Anytime you can catch that kind of weight, and, even if you don't get in the top 4 or 5, if you go out and catch 30 or 40 fish, you're having fun, John.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on to Lake Murray and the kickoff of the 2015 CBC, Carolinas Bass Challenge, $8,000 guaranteed first place. We talked to Brett Collins the other day. They're expecting big numbers down there again this year for their South Carolina division. I don't see why that wouldn't happen. I mean, when you guarantee $8,000, you got all the contingency money that they have, and the fishing is really, really good at Murray. The big thing that's changed at Murray the last few years, the grass is coming back. So I remember tournaments, Rob, back in 03 and 04 where 30, 35 pounds were the norm in February.
Yeah, I mean, if the grass is going to come back, it's going to be unreal at the fish you see come out of Lake Murray. It's still going to be good this weekend. Going to be a lot of Alabama rig fish caught again. I mean, it's one of the baits that when the water's cold and these fish group up, they're looking for these schools of bait, and you throw that thing out there, they're going to come after it and eat it. I mean, the big fish cannot stand it. So I'm going to make a prediction the A-rig's going to win, and it's going to be around 25 or 30 pounds.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. We're looking forward to tracking that one. And then, this tournament on Guntersville is a little bit further down the road, but Guntersville's Guntersville, and I'd say the past 2 to 3 years, it's generally referred to as the top fishery in the country. We've had a cold snap here, Robbie. I mean, these water temps are diving again because we're getting into the mid-low 20s at night. What effect does that have on a one-day event like that?
Well, it's going to have a big effect on the fish at Guntersville because that's Florida strain bass. And, I've heard some reports maybe, they're possibly killing some of the grass down there. So, there's still a lot of grass left. So it's going to group those fish up. Those guys that know how to catch them on that rattle trap, they're going to catch them. So, I mean, they're going to squeak out some big fish, John.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let me ask you this on this grass note. When you say you hear they're killing some grass off, why does the DNR do that? If you know you got a great fishery and it's because of the grass, why do you want to kill the grass off and drive the fishing back, so to speak?
Well, I think it's hard to have a happy medium. Some of the homeowners want it killed. Of course, fishermen want it. And, they're fighting against each other. So hopefully they can come to some kind of agreement with the TVA and leave some grass in there so it'll be a great fishery to come. Because if they kill all the grass, it's going to be, like some of these other lakes we've seen in the past that they've killed the grass, it's going to be devastation.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I remember, Clark's Hill 4 or 5 years ago killed off all their grass, and it's starting to come back again, and they have good weights again. But It really, and then they got the bass virus on that lake, so it was a double whammy. But bottom line, it's kickoff time for 2015. Should be a great year. Last year was fantastic. More team trails than ever. We look forward to covering as many of them as we can. And Robbie, quickly, what is on your calendar the next few weeks, fishing wise?
Well, we got they got the boat show in Charlotte this weekend. I'm going to be down there walking around, helping sell some boats, and we got a BFL coming up, CBC, Railvac, Guntersville. It's just slam packed, John. Every weekend was something going on, but the CBC and the BFLs are really kicking off this weekend, so everybody's schedule going to get started, and you're going to see a lot of fish caught in the next 2 weeks.
All right, buddy. Well, man, we're glad to get back to it. It's good to see you, folks. Best of luck this year, and hopefully we'll see you to weigh in the next couple weeks. Take care.